This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, August 15th, 2016. And the title of this rant will be Wisdom, Courage, and the Economy, which is two-thirds of the Serenity Prayer by Dr. Paul Krugman. It's an article in the New York Times of the same day. So right now we see that Hillary is way up, and he points out, and I would agree with him, that the Clinton derangement syndrome is still going on, is that what you're hearing right now is a lot of stuff from the Republicans basically saying, well, she wouldn't be way up if we had a different candidate. She wouldn't be up at all. She'd actually be losing by 10 points. And that's what they're saying all over the place, not even remotely close to being true. So if any other Republican was running, she'd be way, way behind. But and then the both sides type of a thing. So right now we know that based on the polling that's going on right now, if the election were held today and Hillary won all the states that she's currently 10 points ahead or above, she would already be past 270. And she says she's still ahead in a lot of states by under 10 points. So that's the derangement syndrome is still going around for Hillary. The other thing about that was that they don't say that, they just say Hillary's ahead, and oh by the way, she's still behind in Georgia. You know, again, if she wins Georgia, that means she'll go from like 350 electoral votes to 365 or 66, something like that. And if we look at all of the other GOP candidates, they basically had the same economic plan as Trump. All right, and the most notorious one was Jeb, who said that within the first 4 years of his administration that he would be up to 4% economic growth, which we haven't seen, I don't believe, since the 1960s. For them to say all that, it ain't holding muster. But what we have here on the opposite side is Hillary basically coming up with, I would like to say, realistic, attainable goals. Incremental increase in taxes on the rich, further tightening of financial regulation, and strengthening of the social safety net. Now, does that mean you're going to get 4% growth out of that? No, we're not saying that at all. But are we going to elect a politician who is basically willing to indicate how she will pay for what she promises? So you increase taxes on the rich, you strengthen the financial regulation, you have more money, and you promote, that money then goes towards strengthening the social safety net. So she's promising she's going to pay for what she wants to do, and that's not something that any other right-wing politician or Trump is really beginning to do at all. And the point he's trying to make is that we know how to do these things. We know how to tighten the safety net. We know how to strengthen regulation of the financial industry. We know how to raise taxes on the rich. So we know how to do all that. The question he has is that let's just put it one other way. The only thing the Republicans know how to do is make happy talk and promise you that if you decrease taxes, that it'll increase the economy. And I like to point out, which I've pointed out many times before, that when in the history of the entire world has this ever happened? And it has not. It has not done that at all. Now, Dr. Krugman brings up something interesting in here from what I would refer to as alcohol and addiction circles, is he brings up the serenity prayer, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And he brings up wisdom and courage in his opening line, in his headline. He doesn't bring up acceptance. And what we see here, though, is the Republican Party who's not willing to accept anything. The only thing they're willing to accept is decreasing in taxes. And in the meantime, when they're not getting what they want, the only thing that they are truly promoting, is gridlock and deficit obsession. Now, bringing in obsession, Dr. Krugman brings up another thing that's very standard in addiction circles, and that's the three-ring circus that goes around of there's first an obsession, a compulsion, then the obsession, and then the addiction, so to speak. And when he talks about the obsession, I think that that we've already reached that point with the Republicans, because they've already tried to cut out Obamacare like 50 some times. They're keeping doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the results to be different, but they aren't going to be different. So just in closing out here, is that Hillary is promising to pay for what she's going to do. The Republicans aren't even coming remotely close to doing that. The media is basically playing the both sides issue on this quite a bit, and Hillary is just ramping up and up and up in terms of her lead, and she is now in a position where we can definitely say that we are now in a center-left coalition. We are a center-left government. We are a center-left nation.